everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do this New Year's makeup look right here. So if you want to see how I got this makeup look right here, please keep on watching. I have already moisturized my face and I applied this TATCHA, the Silk Peony eye cream. Hi guys, it's me again. I just wanted to pop in here and tell you guys that I thought it was a great idea to try cupping for the first time the night before I recorded this video. So that's what you're seeing all over my face, those round red marks. So just ignore them. Okay, let's get back to the video. And now I'm going to start by priming my face. I'm going to use the TATCHA, the Silk Canvas Primer. I love this stuff. At first I didn't like this so much, but I really grew to like it. I think the first time I used it, I applied too much. It's that. You have to make sure you just use very little of this product. Now I'm going to use the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer to fill in my pores, just the T-zone. You just need the littlest amount, same with this primer like it was with the other, just very little, and you know, wherever you have fine lines and pores to fill them in, it works perfect. Works really well. I just use it on my T-zone and my smile lines where my pores are right here. Now I'm going to do some color correcting. I love this product. It came out this year. This is the Charlotte Tilbury color corrector in the shade Tan Done. This is like the shade number 3. She has 4 shades. The fourth one is a little too deep, too dark for me. This is perfect. It's got a slight salmon tone to it, and at the same time it's a little reddish. I did not like I have that Papaya color corrector by BECCA. I didn't really like it. I think it's a little too red for me. I mean, that's what I used to use before this came out. So I'm going to use a brush like this. To apply it, to correct my under eye darkness. I have a newborn son, you guys, and I'm getting no sleep. Me and my husband, we are up all night, so I definitely need this color corrector right now. I don't always use a color corrector. I mean, I usually don't have to, but these days with the little sleep I'm getting, I need this. So I actually bring it up here where there's slight darkness too. So wherever you have darkness, you know, just to cancel it out, this product works amazing. Right here especially, where your broken capillaries are from lack of sleep. There you go. So then I top it with this right here. This is the TATCHA Pearl. I love this product, and like I said, usually I don't always have to use a color corrector, so most days I just go in with this. So I'm going to take a round brush like this, and I'm going to top my color corrector with this. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also used this product before I laid down the color corrector. After I applied my eye cream, this eye cream right here, I used this afterwards. This is like a eye primer kind of thing. This is the BECCA Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer. So this is really awesome. It's very thin, as you can see. You know, there's no pigmentation at all. It's just it's kind of waxy. Is that the right word? I don't think so. It's kind of like very moisturizing though. At the same time, you just have to put the thinnest layer. You don't have to put a lot. So I'm now going to blend out my TATCHA Pearl that I just put on top of my color corrector. I have too many steps, you guys. You don't have to do all these steps. I just have to do a lot with my under eyes right now because of the lack of sleep. This TATCHA Pearl is amazing. Like I said, I don't always color correct. These days I'm having to color correct because of the little sleep I'm getting. But usually I can just go in with the eye cream, the BECCA under eye primer, and then the TATCHA Pearl. This works like a color corrector too. As you can see, it's got a little salmon tint to it. So it works like a concealer slash, and it's got skincare in it. So it's like skincare, eye primer, eye cream, and concealer all in one, and color corrector all in one. So it's a really amazing product. I really like it. Don't worry about, you know, it coming up to your nose. You can just blend it out here in a minute. And then I do that, and then I take my beauty blender, and then I make sure that it's well incorporated in and blended in. So I'm going to use the MAKIAGE foundation today. I usually use like a light to medium coverage foundation, but today, because it's New Year's, it's a New Year's look, I'm going to go all out. So I like to go in with the color corrector, the pearl, and all that stuff under my foundation, so I can just blend my foundation on top of it and cover like the redness of the color corrector and all that stuff. And then I like to go in with my concealer on top of the foundation. You can also do like contouring and the concealer, the light and dark, or shading and light underneath your foundation. That's another way to do it, but that's like a very, I think that's more of a technique that makeup artists use for like theater and performing artists like JLo, for example. Her makeup artist Scott Barnes does that. But on day to day, you don't need to do that. You could, you know, use a light hand and use the same technique, or you could just do it this way. Okay, I think got a nice cover. Now I'm going to go in with my favorite concealer of all time. It's a huge statement. This one right here, Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer. This is amazing. This was definitely one of my best discoveries of 2019. It's an amazing concealer. It's very light. It's light in weight. Here's the wand. It's very lightweight, but it's still got full coverage, you know, almost full coverage, and it corrects everything under the eye, and it doesn't settle into fine lines. It's just amazing. It's everything you want in a concealer. I just love this. This is my favorite, you know, until I discovered this, my favorite concealer was the Jouer concealer that everybody loves. And before that, of course, Shape Tape. Everybody loved Shape Tape for the longest time then, and people still do, and I still do. It's just that once I discovered the Jouer one, I kind of put the Shape Tape away, and then I discovered this, and I put both of those away. Right now I can't pick up anything else but this. So I'm going to blend out my concealer. So I blended out the concealer. Now I'm going to go in with the contour, going with cream contour. This is my favorite one right now. This is Fenty Beauty Matchstick Contour in the shade Mocha. So everybody must contour depending on the shape of their face. You know, you have to contour in a way it suits your face, not somebody else's. So for me, my face is a little wider here, so I tend to contour in a sort of a C or V shape here like that, and then blend that out. And I tend to lay the contour down a little higher, because when you blend it, it tends to come down a little bit, slide down a little bit. And here I have very strong jawline, so I'm gonna go behind my ear here and then contour my jawline right there. And I'm gonna blend it out, and I always put some in right there to cancel out any doubles in if there's one. Then I'm gonna take a brush like this, a stippling brush, and I'm going to blend out my contour. I like to blend upward so it doesn't slide down, because then it kind of makes your face look droopy when the contour drops down. And if you go a little heavy-handed with the contour, don't worry about it, because you will be blending things out later. And then I'll be buffing and all that stuff, so you don't have to worry about that quite. There you go. As you can see, nice and chiseled. And under the jawline. You have to make sure with this, it's very important to go around and up to the ear. Don't just contour here and stop. You got to go up here too. So you got to go around the jawline. Again, if you have like a more of an oblong face, you wouldn't be contouring the way I was doing it. You're probably contouring down here like that a little bit, and then, you know, to try to give you cheekbones, you'll probably have to go, you know, under a little bit more. So it depends on the shape of your face. So mimicking someone else's, you know, contour technique might not, like the shape might not work for you. So now I'm going to use the back of my beauty blender and just sort of go over my contour, and if I overdid it here a little bit, so I'm gonna just take care of that and make sure everything's blended out. Next, I am going to, I forgot to set my concealer, so I'm going to do that right now. This is a brightening powder by BECCA Under Eye Brightening Powder. I'm going to take a small brush like this, tapered brush, and I'm going to put it right under my eyes to brighten up under my eyes a little bit more. That's the nice thing about, the reason why I forgot to set my under eye is because that concealer I used doesn't need setting. You can go without if you want, but I always do set my concealer just because it's one of my steps that I always take. And some days if I'm doing like a cream product day, like, you know, all cream products, going for a natural look, then I might not set. I also like to use a little bit of the HUDA powder. I'm gonna use a different brush, a bigger brush like this. Sometimes I use my velour puff too. Actually, let me use my velour puff here for the... So I set my eyes with the HUDA powder. It's really good for that, and it's great for baking. Or I would take my velour puff like this. This is by Linda Hallberg. Whoops. Uh-oh. And I go along my nose. And I put a little extra down here that I dust off later to catch any fallout from the eyeshadows. Although the palette that I'm going to be using today doesn't have any fallout. just in case. So I set my eyes, and now I'm going to, I think before I do the powder contouring and everything else, I'm going to start on my eyes now. I am going to use an eye primer today just to test it out. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills famous eye primer that everybody's talking about. I have not tried this product yet. I'm going to try it today and see how it works. I don't know if I should use a brush, or I'm gonna use a brush or my fingertips, whichever works better. I guess I'll use the brush first a little bit. Let's see if it works better. Oh, whoa, it's pigmented. Boy, it's pigmented. So I'm gonna use my finger to blend it out. I put too much and it got on my eyelashes. I just thought I would prime my eyes today because I'm using a very beautiful palette by HUDA Beauty, the Mercury Retrograde palette, and I just want to make sure that the glitter shades adhere really well, and it has a nice base. Although you really don't need, I used that palette, I hauled it during the Sephora VIB sale, and I've already used that palette a couple of times. You really don't need a primer or glitter glue or anything like that, because those glitter shades are just, they're beautiful, they're creamy, there's no fallout, and they adhere really well without any primer or anything like that. I don't know how she does it. It's amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the beautiful HUDA Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. Look at how beautiful this packaging is. This cover, wow. So now I'm going to use the Wayne Goss number 16 and pick up the shade Crash. Dust it off a little bit, and then I'm going to start really high up above my crease. Don't be afraid to go very close to the eyebrow. This is one thing I discovered, guys, that, you know, if you start too low with your transition shades, your eyes will look droopy and they will look small. So make sure to start higher up. And I was afraid to go this high, thinking, oh, I won't have any, you know, brow space to highlight my brows. No, you do. No, you do. You will. So I'm going to bring it all the way to the edge of my inner corner, and then I'm going to blow it outward and then kind of flick it out like this. Do the same on the other side. Start up high, bring it to the inner corner. So I'm using windshield wiper motions and then also little circular motions to blend that out. Blend as I lay it down. So I tend to put the color down and then blend upward. Always blend upward. Okay, so next I'm going to pick up a little smaller blending brush. This is Wayne Goss number 17, and I'm going to go in with the shade Off Balance and lay it a little bit lower, just a little bit lower than the first shade. And I'm not going to bring this one all the way to the inner corner. I'm going to keep this mostly to the outer third of my eyelid. I love it when some YouTubers say eyeball. See, this is not the eyeball. This is not the eyeball. This is the eyelid. That's the eyeball. So a lot of YouTubers say eyeball on my eyeball. Well, you'd be putting it on your eyeball if that's the case. And then I'm going to pick up this Sonia G brush. This is from her Sky set? No, not the Sky set. The other set. Anyway, that's something else I hauled during the holidays. So I'm going to pick up the shade Libra with this brush. It's got a little pointy end to it. And then I'm going to put this right on the crease. This shade. So, and I'm gonna kind of use circular motions in the outer corner to bring it down in a V shape, the outer V. So I'm gonna put it in the crease and bring it down to the outer V. Okay, next I'm gonna pick up Wayne Goss number 19 and pick up the shade Vortex. And I'm gonna deepen my outer V with this shade. And I'm gonna blend it as I go, using circular motions, as you can see. I don't know, maybe I need to bring you guys a little closer. Hold on one second. There you go, that's better. So I'm gonna use that Vortex shade, as I was saying. So yeah, I deepened the outer V. I really wanna make sure it's really, really deep. Right there, as you can see. Yeah, I'm going to deepen and then blend. That's why I love this brush. This is a Wayne Goss brush. It's a very tiny blending brush. You can lay down the product and blend at the same time. And I'm only going to keep it on the outer portion of the eyelid, outer V, if you will. Okay, I don't know, guys, my camera stopped recording again. I don't know which part of this you missed. I just I laid down the glitter shade with a flat shader brush right here, and then I did my under eyes. I took a flat definer brush by Wayne Goss, and then I picked up the shade Vortex and I I went right on my lash line, and I laid it down, and then I took a pencil brush by Sonia G, this one right here, and then I picked up the shade Libra and I smoked it out. So I don't know how much you guys missed, so I'm just gonna repeat myself just in case. So I kept the Vortex shade to the outer third of the eye, and then the Libra shade I smoked out and I brought it all the way in, and I connected it up here to the upper lid. Okay, now I'm going to take my velour puff and I'm going to use the straight edge to kind of clean up the edges. I do this all the time. This is my favorite eyeliner, you guys. I mean, I got 3 of these during the sales season, I guess the holiday season, with my holiday hauls. This is my favorite. Look at the brush tip. It's a brush applicator tip, and it's so easy to do eyeliner with this. So I usually just start in the corner and I just drag it along my lash line and bring it up a little higher toward the end. I don't do that same technique a lot of people tend to do, go like this and draw like this. I don't do all that. I just follow the shape of my eye, and then it's very easy to me, especially with this particular eyeliner. So there you go, right there. I have been doing eyeliner like this. To me, this looks like Cleopatra. I used to call it my Cleopatra eyeliner. I used to do eyeliner like this back in the 90s, late 90s, when I was a teenager, before this kind of eyeliner became popular. Now everybody and their dog's wearing it. Trust me, you guys, I used to do this eyeliner when it wasn't common, and it used to really stand out. No one else was wearing it, and it was so gorgeous. Everybody I would get so many compliments on my eyeliner, on my eyes in general. There you go. So see the eyeliner. I will do a separate video on liquid eyeliner if you guys would like. Please comment down below if you'd like to see that. Okay, So next I'm going to go in with this Hourglass eyebrow pencil. This is supposed to be really good. It's kind of like microblading, they say. And mostly what I care about is the applicator tip or the pencil tip right here. It needs to be very thin and flat like this. The other one that's like this is the Kat Von D eyeliner, the eyebrow brush. But I don't like to buy that anymore, since the whole anti-vaxxer controversy. I don't really buy her product. I don't really use a lot of brow products because I have pretty good brows. But if you guys would like to see a brow routine, I can do the whole Instagram brow thing, or I could do like a everyday brow look, just using a few, a couple of more products other than just the eyebrow pencil. I can do that for you guys. This is my all-time favorite brow gel by Benefit. It's the one that has this applicator right here. This is beautiful. It's the applicator that makes the difference. I just love, see on one side the applicator bristles are longer. See how wonderful this brow gel is? It just combs my brows through. So next I'm going to contour, powder contour. And this is my favorite palette by KEVYN. I also have the single, so this is the contour palette he came out with, I think the year before last. So this is the shade that I use. Not this shade. Wait a minute. No, not that shade. This one right here. I meant to point at this one. So I'm going to use Scott Barnes beveled brush right here. And I'm going to pick up the contour shade and I'm going to set my contour. I like to powder contour before I set my face, so that way the powder contour, if it's too harsh, it gets blended out. Don't worry if it looks a little harsh right now, because it's going to get blended out with the setting powder when you go in with the setting powder. I don't like to cream contour my nose because I don't really need a lot of contouring. I just need a little bit. So I'm going to start up here and then just bring it down right there, just a little. Yeah, like I said, I don't like to cream contour my nose because I don't really need a lot of contouring. Just need a little bit right there. I just bring it right down and I just stop right there. And I don't go under because my nose is already very tiny and little. I don't need to make it look shorter. And this brush is good for contouring because it blends it out too at the same time. There you go. And that's about all the contouring I am going to do. And then I'm going to again pick up the compact that I was using, the La Mer compact. I like to use compact powders to set my face, then loose powder. I use loose powder to bake if I bake, but for setting my face I like compacts. And there are some powders that I like, the By Terry powder, By Terry hyaluronic setting powder, I believe. Now I'm going to bronze my face with this right here, the Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in the shade Tantalize. Guys, I was so happy when he finally came out with a shade that was dark enough for deeper skin tones. And I couldn't believe that a brand like Marc Jacobs couldn't come up with a darker shade, a deeper shade for deeper skin tones. There are a lot of us out there who buy makeup. So I'm gonna use my the famous Tom Ford natural hair brush. Guys, I went a little crazy and I was on the hunt for this brush. By the time I found out about this brush, they were no longer making it. Marc Jacobs has gone synthetic. I don't understand that whole not making natural hair brushes anymore thing. I don't know why he made that decision. I don't know if he had a particular reason for that. I'm telling you, the synthetic version isn't the same at all. Anyway, so I did the bronzer now. And I'm going to go back in with that same brush that I was using to set my face, and I'm just going to make sure that it's not really resetting, rather it's kind of like making sure everything's blended out and nothing is harsh, and the bronzer looks fine. I'm going to bring it down a little bit, just making sure the bronzer is blended out well. Okay, that was with no extra product. And now I'm going to go in with blush. I'm going to use one of my favorite blushes, actually blush palette. I should have used the cream product underneath my setting powder, but that's okay. This works on top too. That's the amazing thing about this blush. So I'm going to go in with this Natasha Denona Blush and Bloom palette, and I'm going to go in with this cream, this side, cream dark red here. I like to go a little heavy-handed, and then when I buff at the end, it tends to tone down. You know, you can always buff after all of your steps and then tone down the blush. Because my blush always disappear, you guys. Like whenever I put blush on, like a few minutes later, it's disappeared. So this is why I like to use a cream blush underneath my powder blush, so that it stays put at least for a little half the day, you know. If you don't do this step, well, if I don't do this step, I think maybe for other skin types, other people, it works better, but on my face, my skin, blush tend to just disappear. And as you can see, I brought the blush up a little higher to suit my face shapes. I know it looks very red now. That's okay, it's gonna disappear here in a couple of hours when the oils start to come through on my face. And then of course when I put the powder blush on top and buff, it's gonna disappear somewhat. I'm gonna use one of my favorite blushes that I just discovered. I hauled this during the holidays from Macy's. This is a Dior blush. It's what's the shade? Dior blush, Dior Skin Nude Illuminizer blush in the shade Coral Pop, I think. I'm going to use this stippling kind of brush by Sephora. Isn't this Sephora? Yeah, I think so. And I'm gonna, because it's a very dark, like kind of reddish blush, so I just don't want to lay down too much product. I wouldn't use a goat hair brush for this blush because it'll pick up too much. So I'm just going to use this stippling sort of brush by Sephora, and I'm going to put that blush on top of my cream blush. Now I'm going to buff. I'm going to pick up a big brush head like this with one of my favorite products to set my face with. This is Sicily powder, setting powder, or finishing powder. Actually, it's a finishing powder. There's a difference between setting powder and finishing powder. Setting powder you set with, finishing powder you finish your makeup with, like I'm doing right now. You buff your face. So I picked up a little bit of the product and I'm going to tap it out a little bit, and I'm going to go in and buff my face, and all that harshness that you saw with the blush, that's going to disappear, and this is going to give me like a nice veil, beautiful veil over my skin, and it's going to give it that kind of blurred effect to the skin. Kind of soft focused look that it gives the skin. I love that. So I just buffed my skin with this Sicily. I was in the middle of trying to tell you the name of this powder. It was the Phyto Powdre. I don't know, I can't pronounce that, but it's in the shade number 4 Sable. I love this to set with. It has this really beautiful kind of sheen to it. Not really glittery or shimmery like that, but Not like the Lancome Absolute powder in the shade Absolute Patch. That's just a little too Tin Man to me. It's too much like a highlighter. I have that powder too. I use that sometimes, but this one isn't as highlighty, I guess. It's very beautiful and radiant instead. So now I'm going to go in with my lip pencil and line my lips. This is the Makeup Forever lip pencil in the shade Endless Cacao. And now I'm going to go in with the Natasha Denona lipstick. I need a nude lipstick. Look at that closure. Isn't that awesome? The magnetic closure. In the shade Naya. This is a beautiful nude. There you go. Gosh, you guys, these lipsticks, they're so buttery and it smells like vanilla. So amazing. I'm going to use this Surratt lash curler to curl my lashes first. I'm not going to use false lashes, you guys. I have really good lashes. I don't tend to use false lashes very often. Okay, so this is the It Cosmetics mascara. What is it called? The Superhero mascara. Okay, so that's the finished look. I'm gonna take my hair band off. Oh, you know what I forgot? To highlight my brow bone. I'm gonna highlight my brow bone with the shade Momentum in the same Huda Beauty palette. Oops, very pigmented. Use the other side to blend it out. Very pigmented. There you go. Use the other side to blend it out. And I also forgot to highlight my inner corner. So I'm going to do that right now. Pick up this tiny little brush. I don't know where I got this from. I can't remember. And then I'm going to pick up the shade Supermoon. And I'm going to highlight my inner corner. Last step left to do is setting spray. I'm going to use this Dior Air Flash setting spray. I'm going to film a haul video after this, and that will be up to, I will link it down below for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this makeup look. I will see you in my next video.